Hey everybody, welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. Reba here. And it is a very nice, cold, chilly day in the Pacific Northwest. We've got tons of clouds. So, I came out here because it's my morning walk around and I left my coffee on the table. But I guess that's okay because I'm going to need my other hand here in a few minutes. So we're going to go take a look in the greenhouse and I'll show you how everything's looking in the greenhouse. And I've got all my stuff all set up over here for sale and for, I'm waiting though to do the sale, so that sort of thing. So anyways, yeah, all the trees all lined up all the way down. So all the smaller ones are over here on the left. So we come down here, my apricot is looking nice and big here, and I've got other ones on the tree. I've got about 5, it looks like, possibly. So that's the biggest one. It is looking amazing. And my soapwort has begun to blossom here, but it looks like it's going to be like a purple flower. And it's not in full bloom yet I wanted to show you guys it during full bloom, but it's not in full bloom. I do have just a couple, about 3 to 4, it looks like, about 4 that are fully open. Got one that's way down here, it's hanging off the bottom of the pot, hanging down there. And then I've got one here, and one here, and one here, and I've got about 3 to 4 other ones, maybe 5 other ones that are about to burst open, just little tips. Where's the other one? Here's one here, and one here, and another one here. So there's about 5 or so that are ready to come open. So they're just really sweet little pinky purple flowers, and this apple tree is in full bloom. The other one has almost completely parted out. It's almost completely done. It's looking good though. So that's how it's looking. So I will be having some apples, and of course some apples will automatically drop off, you guys, generally speaking. So we'll keep an eye on it. These little columers, they tend to have heavy fruiting along the stem area, so it's very normal. Although the fruit will be out a little bit on the smaller side, I would probably wager to say. It was about a small apple last year that I got, and I only had one that was pollinated. One of the flowers got pollinated last year, so I only had one on this one, and it was a good apple, but I picked it a little bit early. So pretty much everything's looking good. The pear is doing good. It's lost a lot of its blossoms too, and it'll begin to develop those pears now. I do need to stabilize some of the branches that are a little bit small, just so that the limbs don't break. The kids have pretty much demolished this box. My son wanted a tree limb, so we sawed a branch off of a tree, or part of a tree, over here by the fence line. That's actually growing. The tree was actually growing in through the fence, back and forth. It was weaving itself back and forth through the fence, and actually it needed to come out anyways, so I let him cut it down. I tried to talk him into letting it stay because there were some cherries on it, and the birds would have really loved that food. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. So I did some spray painting, so the grass is colored, and it's not like perfect spray painting. So I mean, I wasn't worried about getting everything, so I didn't put down stuff. It's probably not the best thing for the ground, but I'm not planning to have a garden here in this section of the yard, so it's just going to be grass, so I'm not worried about it so much. It's mostly top surface type stuff here going on, so the other sections completely, you can't really tell where I had spray painted last month already. There might be a couple little spots where I spray painted over here, like right here. There's a couple little blue spots here and there, but for the most part you can't really tell after a month. So it'll wear off, and it'll it'll be mowed down next mowing. So we're gonna go into the greenhouse, but before we do that, I wanted to share with you what I'm doing here. The spray painted stuff that I just showed you, all of I showed you guys. I showed you where I spray painted some stuff. This is what I spray painted. I had some spray paint in my garden shed, and I decided to go ahead and use it, even though I don't think this color is the best. I don't think the coverage on this one, because it was like a primer color paint primer type thing. I'm probably going to spray paint these white ones a different color. I do have another white. These are more of a cream white. I do have a white that is a primer and a paint together, and I prefer just to straight up just paint it. But I used the primer because I had it, so I just decided to use it. And I'm saving the white for possibly something else, because it has the paint and the primer. So I'm also planning on spray painting my other wire, my round wire rack, plant rack that I have, that I've showed you guys in my other videos. And I'm wanting to paint it a different color. So far, I asked my Facebook friends to tell me what color I should paint it, so I'll do that with you guys too. And you guys can suggest colors. I love all kinds of colors. It was originally like a mustard yellow color, and so far the color that's being yelled out for me to paint it is a bright yellow. So we'll see. I'm not opposed to that at all. Clearly I like yellow, so I have one yellow chair, but that's only because there was only one yellow chair at the store. And I'm like, whatever. So anyway, so I spray painted these so I can go and get some more of the dollar store bowls, and put them on that. And I'm just waiting to have some more sales on Etsy, and that way I can purchase those. And yeah, so I managed to get most of the ones down here, that blue color. I had just enough to scantily spray them, and there's a couple spots here and there that kind of missed a little bit, but for the most part it's all right. I have to do touch-ups on them every year anyway, so I'll probably be getting another can of this paint to spray paint these for the blue color. And I may end up spray painting all of these that blue color and just have them all be that blue color, just so that I don't have to think about it. But my hands have paint all over them. This hand a little less than the other hand. The hand holding the phone, well, it got covered in paint somehow. The paint nozzle started leaking, so my finger got all sticky. It got all over all of my other fingers too. So that's how everything's looking here. If I don't end up painting these ones the blue color, I'm planning on moving these blue salad bowls down and getting a different color salad bowl to put on these, so that it really accents the different colored stands. Maybe a pink or something, because I've kind of got that pinky blue vibe going on over here with the different pots. So I was thinking about maybe doing that. But we'll see what they've got at the dollar store before we make any of those decisions. But right now I could move these all down. The little tomato plant's gonna need a little bit more sunny spot, so I'll probably move all these 4 containers down a little bit. So let's go in the greenhouse now. The blueberry bushes smell so amazing, you guys. So we're gonna come in here. I'm going to squeeze in because I only have the door partly open because it is a chilly day. It's about 60 degrees in here, so I'm going to shut the zipper a little bit. The sun is trying to poke through the clouds, and I'll show you what's going on. I'm a little bit excited because the rats didn't get everything, and I know I was so disheartened when they came into my greenhouse and they ate a whole bunch of my seeds out of my stuff. But it always goes to show you that the Lord's always looking out for you, because he always saves you just enough for just what you need. And apparently I wasn't needing to sell a bunch of plants this year, because God's just like, you know what? I've got you covered. I'm going to make sure that you have just enough for you and your family. So the seeds that they didn't get, I had planted into these little containers. And these are the little round zucchinis in this one, I believe. And in this one, I have a whole bunch of the striped zucchinis. So I'm really excited about that. And then when I came over here, I noticed I also have, I think this one is, these two cells are the striped zucchinis. So I've got one there also. But I do know that they didn't get all of these. So that's really good. These ones were those little sour cucamelons. They're little Mexican sour melons. They've got many different little names. Everybody knows them as something else, but the little sour cucumbers, little melons. So I'm excited about that, but I haven't seen them come up yet. The rats did not mess with these cells because the seeds just weren't big enough for them to bother with. But I'm hoping they sprout. So if they don't sprout, then I won't have them. And it's nobody's fault. They just didn't sprout. So we're just waiting on those. I'm not giving up on them. But the rats did eat a lot. I mean, there's still some evidence of where the rats ate my seeds. So there might still be seeds in these, and they are coming up very slowly. So it looks like I've got two more. This is a striped, and then this one right here is a cucumber muncher section. So these ones are, I've got, looks like one here, but the rats did kind of eat the seed, but it's still sprouted, you guys. Look at that. So, yeah. And then right here, I had California Wonder bell peppers planted. So I'm looking forward to those coming up. And then in here, I still don't know what these are. Because when the greenhouse blew over, these were what remained. These all got transplanted from my cells into here. So I've got some really nice looking red dragon arugulas coming up in here. They look really, really good. It looks like we got 4 plants of those left in this. I planted a lot of the other ones into my little containers on the fence line. And then I've got these random little tomato plants. They could be Sweetie 100s. They could be San Marzanos. I'm not exactly sure which ones they are, but they're one of the two. So I've got a few of those in there, and they actually are very healthy looking tomato plants. So I'm just letting them be and letting them grow because they've got the most leaves out of a lot of my other ones. I've got just a few in here that are doing really, really phenomenal. Here's how my purple coneflowers are looking, my echinacea. So they're looking really good. And the rats did try to eat on these too. There's little nibbles. You'll see little nibbles here and there where they ate originally on the plant. So, and then I've got a couple new sprouts that just came up. So that's really good and encouraging. It looks like this is the one tray that the rats did get into. And it looks like I've got only one of the muncher cucumbers in this one. So it looks like I've got one in both sections. So that might be just enough for just the family to snack on. I don't have anything planted in that right now. This is just on the off chance any of the lemon thyme is growing in the moss. I've kept that because I had seedlings dropped in there. So just on the off chance I get another plant, I can pull it out of that top bit of the moss soil. In the little strawberry containers, I had planted those viola seeds, so I'm hoping and praying those come up. So I'm excited about that. The kohlrabi's looking good down here. This is the white kohlrabi over here. Some of the bugs have eaten some of them, but for the most part I still have plenty. And then over here I've got my sugar beets, and they're looking good. I've got some really nice looking small tomatoes down here. These are the mini brown cherry tomatoes that I got at Trader Joe's, and I kept the seeds from to grow. Little hole made by the water from the pot above. Doesn't look like anything's coming up here, so I'm wondering if I even planted anything in this last cell here, this section. And then the purple kohlrabi's doing good. And then here's the funny part. Here's some funny stuff. I planted some other stuff here too This was the one tray that the rats got into also, that had like corn and that sort of thing in it. And you guys, apparently the rats didn't get everything, and I was so bummed, and I didn't replant the watermelons. But this I don't think is a watermelon. I think it's a cucumber of some sort. But over here, check this out. This is what I'm so excited to share with you guys. It still has the watermelon seed on it. So I've got 2 watermelon plants in this row, and it was 2 rows of watermelon plants. And the reason why I know that is because there's some seed shells here that the rats had cracked open. So I've got more watermelons. Possibly there might still be some watermelons hiding in there, but they are amongst the purple kohlrabi. So the purple kohlrabi is doing good. And so yeah, and then I got those brown cherry tomatoes here. Now up here I've got still only 3. It looks like 3 of the cinnamon basils have come up. They still could come, more still could come up in this container as the season progresses. I didn't know how many of the seeds were still viable. I collected the seeds back in 2014 off of my cinnamon basil plant that I had, and so that's what I planted. So it looks like 3 of a whole bunch. I had like 100 seeds or more that I scattered in here. So we'll just have to wait and see. These are how the melons are looking, or not the melons, but the this one died in the center, got too hot or something. It might still come back though, but it's not really liking it when the greenhouse gets too hot. So it might be almost time to plant these out. They're starting to get their next leaves. These are the carnival squashes, but you can see that the tomatoes are starting to get their next leaves and stuff. So that's really, really good. I'm not sure what this is. Could be a weed. Because when that greenhouse blew over, you guys, it just kind of flew everything everywhere. And handfuls of dirt got picked up off the ground. So there could be grass growing and stuff. Who knows? Down here, I have the American blueberry. I moved it in because of those darn crows. Didn't want them messing with my freshly potted stuff. So I moved those in. I got lemon verbena, trunks down in this ground here on this little pot, because when the greenhouse blew over, it messed everything up in that container. So I just pulled everything that had roots that was buried in the dirt and looked like it might be growing. I poked it into this pot. So I might get some lemon verbena coming up in this container, which is fine with me. And then I've got my other lemon verbena here. It's starting to get big. I'm gonna have to move it out of the greenhouse soon, which is great news because then it'll start thriving outside. So I'm excited about that. Everything looks good. I got a tomato in this pot with my palm dwarf and my banana seeds that are still hard, but they've not germinated. So I don't know if they're viable or not, but they haven't rotted, so that's a good thing. This is the dragon apples. And then this is my goldenberry, and these are the ones I've overwintered for the last, this is the 3rd year, or 2nd winter that I've overwintered them, but they're on their 3rd year from the original plant. And so I've got flowers already on these ones, and I need to get these planted out into the garden and get them into the ground so they can get bigger. But they are making flowers already, which is really great because they take so long to mature, it seems like, and a lot of times I don't get any full ripe berries here in the Pacific Northwest. So that's why I grew mine in the greenhouse all last year, and it got a little bit temperamental towards the sun, and so I was like, man, so it needs to be like in full sun, that's for sure. And then here's my citrus trees. They're looking okay. I don't think they're the happiest as they could be. Move that away from the edge there a little bit. So yeah, and then my gooseberries are doing good down here. They're getting their roots established. And then here's some other lemon verbena starts, what was left of the massacre of the greenhouse falling over. Really messed everything up in this little tray that I had going. And then here's some more of the golden berries. They're looking good. They need a little bit of water, so I'll probably put some in the tray. And then down here are some other little things that you'll find out in another video. So everything's looking really good, and all the peppers are starting to come up. I've got a little sprout here in the thin cayenne, and I got another little piece of green here, so that's thin cayenne coming up. It looks like I had covered something here, maybe a seed. I don't know. It's not germinated yet. Yeah, I think it needs to go a little bit deeper. There we go. So it doesn't look like anything yet in the Tabasco area. Possibly a look back here. Nothing yet. I do have some coming up in the Top Girl, so I've got at least 3 of the Top Girl, which are like compact little bell peppers. They're like squished bell peppers. This one here is the early jalapeno. I've pretty much got one in every cell. Nothing's come up in this cell here, but I've got more than enough in a couple of the cells to fill that out. So I've got enough jalapenos. And then here is the Enjoya peppers, how they're looking in this section here. They're very healthy looking bell peppers. And here's the thing, you guys. They came up a lot quicker than the Top Girl. And I'm pretty impressed with that. And even though the rats didn't mess with those cells, with the bell peppers down, the California Wonders are also an early variety, and those haven't come up yet either. So that's telling me something about these bell peppers. They came up pretty darn quick, you guys. Pretty darn quick. So whether or not they actually have the stripe on them, I don't care. I love the fact that they came up outside in the Pacific Northwest without being grown under under grow lights, and they are a sturdy little plant. I'm telling you what, I'm liking them. They're looking really amazing. So I cannot wait. And I've got a good amount of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 11. I'll probably end up with a little bit more. But, I mean, that's a really good amount. And then over here, I've got my golden beets have come up over here in this section. And they're all looking really good. My eggplants are looking good. I'm getting my next leaf finally on this one. That's encouraging. I had to move this greenhouse into the middle of the yard like this because it just was not getting enough sunlight. And all of the plants were leaning to the right. And so I had to get them moved so that they could get more sun. But anyways, everything's looking good. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Thanks for coming along today. Comment, like, and subscribe, and click that bell button. And as always, you guys, have a wonderful day and God bless. Bye.